Hey, what's up guys? This is T-Bone here. So you might have noticed that I haven't actually uploaded a video in quite a while, and that's because I took a personal break. I felt like I needed to center myself a little bit and figure out what I wanted to do with this channel. Mostly, for Gemstone Legends, what kind of content do I want to produce and what will be useful for everyone. And one of the things I remember I did was a video series where I talked to different members of the community, and I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to bring it back again. And so at least one of the things I want to add to sort of the list of videos I make from now on is a video where I talk to somebody in the community. And in today's video, we're going to hear from Lady Omega. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and if there is any suggestions or feedback, happy to hear about it as well. So let's get into the video.
Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion.
Hey, what's up guys, this is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another video for Gemstone Legends. Today we've got Lady Omega with us. So if you remember, I've done some videos in the past where I talked to different members of the community, and I wanted to continue that. And today I've invited her onto the channel to chat about the game. So Lady Omega, welcome to this video today. And why don't you say hello, tell the viewers a little bit about who you are, and maybe talk a little bit about your guild.
Okay. Hi. Thank you for having me. I've been playing Gemstone Legends for a little over 2 years. I started playing in March of 2021. I am currently the leader of Iron Dragons. We are ranked 3rd in the guild rankings right now. We've been that way for about 2 years. We're trying to press up. We're still working towards that. So just a work in progress.
Okay, that's awesome. So tell me a little bit, without giving away any secrets. I know, one of the things I see in the top guilds is they're constantly working on different strategies and how to push. So what are some of the key areas that your guild has been, focusing on to stay in the top 3 or even maybe pushing higher?
Our main focus has been war since war has started. There's a lot of different mechanics. And as soon as you learn those mechanics in war, there's the other guild will change their strategy, which forces you to change your strategy. So it's an forever learning and evolving situation in war. So that's our main focus is war. As far as the raid bosses and stuff, we pretty much got those knocked out. We just do those for dailies. We do our banners for dailies. Everybody's active. I think that's the most important part. In a top guild is you must be active and do your dailies and just be in there and hustle and just get it done.
Okay, well, good suggestion and good sound strategy there. I also wanted to take this minute to do a little plug for you. If you can see the background here, that's actually the logo, or I guess that's an image created for the Iron Dragons guild. I think it's really cool, so that's why I put in the background. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about who made this, and just kind of a little backstory maybe about this this graphic?
Yeah, absolutely. Dram, which is inside of our guild, he's one of my captains right now, but he is getting into AI, and he's been producing these images that are just phenomenal. And he'll send them to me, and this is one of very many that he sent me that I really love. This is one of the most recent images. So he does phenomenal with this AI. He does really good. I really love that image.
Yeah, I do too. It is really, really cool. So, I think that's really great. I wanted to say thank you for sharing this with me so I can put this here and kind of showcase it as well. All right, so back to the game a little bit. We are definitely going to go back to talk about wars because I think that is a very big topic that a lot of people are very passionate about. But kind of wanted to just kind of go a little bit in a breadth here, cover different areas. One thing I wanted to know is so you've been playing the game for a couple of years now, and one thing I wanted to do for these video series is really just have a conversation, talk about the current state of the game, talk about things that people enjoyed about the game, things that people maybe want to change a little bit. So I'm going to start by asking you, what would you say is your favorite part of the game? I think I have an idea, but I'm just kind of curious from your perspective, what do you enjoy the most? Since you've started playing, what's the one thing that's always sort of kept you interested and engaged?
So Wars wasn't here when I started, so I can't refer to War. But one of my favorite, and still is my most favorite part of the games, is any hero can be a 6-star hero, and that's a lot of games do not have that. So you can take a rare and you can move it up to a 6-star, and it can be used in all areas of the game. So I think that is the best thing that this game has had going for it since day one.
Right. And actually, when I started, it was very similar thought process for me as well. And that is, any hero could be useful, and you can bring any hero to 6 stars as well. And one thing I do know, just from conversations with others and just personal experience as well, is that at least in Guild Wars, the rare heroes actually play a very big part in the whole strategy. And so it is, often something that's overlooked by others who may not realize how important they are, but it is something that I know a lot of people focus on. And so if we talk about rare heroes, off the top of your head, are there any heroes that come to mind as your favorite, or the one that you think is most important to develop, and sort of why are they so important? What would you be able to share as far as your personal favorites?
My very first personal favorite would have to go to Inula. And even though the dragons have kind of messed up that, and you have to learn to set them off, and you have to put in Bob now. But she is my go-to hero, and she has been.
Okay. And so Inula, again, just for those who may not know, her primary skill is to put opponents to sleep, right?
Yes. Yeah, and she's an AoE. It's everybody. I just love it.
Right.
And the other hero would have to be Farfus. He's the purple dwarf.
Okay. And
yeah,
so,
that 6-turn stun, you can't beat that in a rare hero, I don't think.
Right. The 6-turn stun, that is on a single hero, but it lasts for 6 turns, which is very devastating.
Yes, and it can be. You can have 2 heroes stunned throughout a big portion of the fight.
Okay. So we've got Inula and we got Farvas. These are 2 heroes, for example, that, for those of you who are watching, if you don't know already, definitely you should get, take a look, and you can start building them because they're going to help you. Unfortunately, sleep and stun don't work against raid bosses anymore. I remember when we first started, it wasn't the case, right? We were able to use stun, sleep, etc., all these different strategies. Unfortunately, we've had to change that a lot.
You could stun them and beat them to oblivion.
Yes. And I remember the damage on the bosses were just really big for those of the people who have started before and knew about how to do it. And then they've changed it around, right? And I think that's sort of been a theme that we've seen over the last, I would say, year and a half. There's been a lot of changes over time. And so you see, we started with, being able to stun our bosses, and there was no Guild Wars. And you just mentioned it also, there was a change to one of the heroes. For example, Inula was impacted by a change. And the change we're talking about here is the green dragon used to be able to heal, but now it damages as well. So it wakes up everybody who's asleep, right?
Yes.
And so there's constantly changes. And I think one of the things about change is that it's not always perceived well. I wanted to hear from your personal perspective. How do how have you felt about just, the way the game has been evolving over the last year or so? Since you started, really, it's been evolving. So I wanted to hear from your thoughts. What did you think about the changes? What are the things that you liked, and perhaps some of the things that you didn't like?
I think as a natural human response, when changes come to the game, you get mixed feelings. You feel excited, you feel worried about the things that you're questioning. And so it's just a learning experience the longer that you wait and try to test out these new mechanics that they introduce into the game, or to new heroes. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I really like that they introduce this many changes so often, just because the game needs to evolve and we need to stay busy, because a lot of us has played for a very long time, so we can get bored. However, I feel like the developing of constant heroes may need to slow down. We can't catch up to the ones that that has been previously introduced. So, out of all the changes that have come to the game, there's many that I like, and that includes the war markers, the implementation of the captains and what the captains can do. Even though I would like to see all blue tags, the hetman, marshal, and captain, be able to set targets, because war is so long. I know it's only 24 hours, but it still feels so long when you're constantly battling.
Right.
But I like the changes because they push a new meta, and everybody has to relearn everything. Even though that I get kind of edgy about it, because we have real lives too. We just don't have game lives. So you can start to feel a little bit behind when there's so many changes and so many new pieces of gear to learn, and it can be overwhelming sometimes.
Right. No, I can definitely relate. There was a period, I think, when heroes are coming out every single week, and having to, learn about it, understand whether it's good or not, and on a personal level, just really working on figuring out, is this something that people should go after, and if so, what are some of the things that they should learn? And at the end of the day, really, is this something that will help you with your game? And so I can definitely see that being a an area that really can overwhelm a lot of people, especially for new players, right? New players are coming on, they don't really know what's good, what's not, they don't know one hero from the other, and so maybe kind of touching up on that a little bit. Do you get a chance to interact with new players either in your guild or just in other forums, and what are some of the advice or maybe some of the things that you've mentioned to them on how they can get started with the game?
The first thing I would send them to do is start looking at their rare heroes and what they're able to summon and what they can use right now, to push through the campaigns and to try to successfully do all the events that they can do. As far as within or inside of our guild, we don't have new players in there because a new player can't make it at the top right now. It's just they won't have the bench for it or the heroes. You have to have 6 war teams.
Right.
So, but we can contact them or communicate with them through global or through general Discord and talk to them there if they have any questions. The community used to be a lot more open and a lot better with sharing information before the introduction of wars. And now there's a lot of things that have to be kept under wraps to not give away certain synergies or tactics or strategies.
Right.
So it's not near as open in there as it used to be before wars.
There's definitely been conversations I've had with people, and I have to be very careful about not spilling their secret sauce. Definitely understand everybody's worked hard on coming up with their own strategies. And I think similar idea with Arena, right? So one of the things that you touched upon is, when we talked about the state of the game, what you liked and what you didn't like, I heard, just like the ever evolving meta, things that sort of force you to learn. Those are good things. But then there are parts of the game that kind of, makes it difficult to catch up on. And so that's one thing I think I heard that you mentioned. And I know that, Wars, Arena, these are all areas where a lot of people have spent a lot of time coming up with their own ideas and strategies, and so it's hard to really dig into the details and the strategies, and we don't have to go into that in this particular video, but I guess I just kind of wanted to hear from your perspective, hey, there's a lot of people that they have different opinions really on the state of war, the state of Arena right now. There's just different parts of the game I think a lot of people are not. I would say there are a lot of people who are very unhappy, and there are people who are okay with it. And I'm kind of curious, from your perspective, where do you feel? Where do you land? How do you feel about the current state of the game? Are there things that you think that fundamentally need to be changed, or just, actually you feel like they're okay? You just need to slow down a little bit, as you say.
I do feel I'm big on quality over quantity. So if things are going to be introduced, they need to be introduced in clean working order. There's going to be problems, but there don't have to be as many problems as there is. And I feel like the community is crying and begging for the devs to listen to them. Like, hey, this is broken. Hey, this is broken. Stop making new stuff. That's one thing that I've heard over and over and over since forever. Um, the war. Okay. I have an issue with the war loot because they're farmable artifacts for the most part, and we can farm those. So why are we trying to sink in so much time to the war if we can get most of them that we'll be receiving from the loot? However, I've seen more guilds participating in wars now than there were in the past. So I don't understand it, but it's happening. So obviously something's working in that.
Right.
One thing I did want to mention is the Stellar Dynasty. These heroes, they're hard to get. You rarely get scrolls. A scroll is super expensive, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy. I think I'm saying what I've been reading, and I've heard a lot of people saying a scroll is $40. You can get gold scrolls, 35 of them for $17.99 is what I've recently seen.
Right.
But so immediately you get this impression that the stellar is going to be above average heroes, and some of them are, but not all of them. So if they're going to be that hard to acquire, to me it's difficult for me to wrap my mind around. Then why aren't they all above average? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think that I haven't had a chance to do a in-depth review of all of the the astral heroes, and I think that was the intent, right? The intent was these are much harder to obtain, and the ones that you get should be above average, as you say, and they should feel good. And I know that there is a counter side to that as well, and that is you don't really want this to just become a pay-to-play or pay-to-win game either. It's a delicate balance, and I think I'm with you on that, in that the fact that it was introduced, and in fact that there are some heroes in that faction that are just super overpowered.
Yes.
It has made it into, if you have the hero, it is going to be a lot easier for you to, to have an advantage. It's just so advantageous compared to some of the others. But then there are others where you spend the money to get the heroes. I'm going to give it, an example. So one of the epic heroes, Cetus, the warrior guy. I have not been able to find a good use for him as much as I've tried, and I seem to pull him quite often, right? I actually will admit that I have been trying to get Gemini, for example, and I will talk about this in probably one of the upcoming videos, where I got hit really hard trying to obtain Gemini, and I didn't. But I got a lot of the epic heroes, and I couldn't get Nyx, who is, I think, one of those above average heroes, but I kept pulling Cetus, and I couldn't find a good use for him. And then there's Odium, who was good and then got nerfed, right?
Right.
And so I definitely understand it is one of the situations where you don't want the game to be too much pay to win, but at the same time, it feels kind of penalizing for you to chase after these heroes for them to just sit in the shelf, right?
Correct. It's to me, they introduced them in the way that they were intended to be introduced. Their scrolls are higher. You get less of a chance getting one because of that, and because of gaining the shards to get them as well. So when you pull them, when you summon them, you're expecting, okay, whatever's coming out of this is going to be worth my time spent, right? Because it's not only about money at this point. There's players out there that's free to play that are collecting their shards and getting really excited about a Stellar Dynasty hero. And when they pull it, it's a dupe of I'm not going to use the word worthless, but not Stellar Dynasty worthy. If that makes any sense. Like, if they're going to be that hard, then they need to be above par, and then people wouldn't be so upset to either A, spend the money or chase, or B, to hold their shards and to put that time in on collecting them. And I find a lot of people being upset about that in particular thing, either the money spent or the time spent. And the fix could be they need to be above average if you're going to introduce them that way.
Right.
Like you said, there's a balancing act. And I'm not saying that I have the solution. but something has to be done about it.
Yeah,
You
I hear
know,
you.
like, and businesses are going to make mistakes, and businesses are going to make good decisions. And Gemstone Legends has made some very good decisions. They've implemented a lot of good things. And when the community cries for something to be fixed, and it's a big part of the community, I feel like their voices deserve to be heard, because without these players, the game wouldn't be here.
Yeah, definitely. And in any game, really, all the games I played and participated in, the community is always a very big part, and definitely the voice is important. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to sort of, start this series, with this, with this video, having your thoughts in here, which I think is going to be very, good for just in general for everyone to just get a chance to hear. So speaking of communities, we do have our, official Discord. I have one as well. Do you have a Discord server that you have open either to the public, or is this just for your guild?
I just have a Discord for the guild only. I've not had ownership of the guild very long to be able to branch out like that, and I'm not sure if I'm going to branch out like that.
Mhm.
But it's a possibility in the future.
Okay. No, that's totally fair. And I mean, like, everybody sort of have their own thing. And I just wanted to let everyone know, from my side, I do have a Discord server that I try to keep up to date. There's others as well. And I will definitely link some of the ones that I know below. I think community is very important. And I think the voice is important. And what I believe also very firmly is that differing opinions matter, right? Different opinions are important. And so I wanted to have you come on, share your thoughts, what you liked and what you didn't like. And so I really appreciate the time. So again, I think, just to summarize for everyone, this is Lady Omega in the Iron Dragons Guild, one of the top 3 guilds in the game right now. Something that I heard you say you enjoy is just, the heroes that you can take, level up to 6 stars. There's changes that are forcing you to learn more about the game, but we do need to slow down, and there are parts of the game that feel very unbalanced. Astral Heroes is something we need to change. So that's what I've heard so far. Is there anything else you maybe wanted to add before we wrap up this video here? Just whatever you wanted to share, anything you wanted to talk about.
I do. I understand that the devs could possibly feel pressure from the player pool when they go into general Discord, or they probably feel overwhelmed. But I feel like, and only because I've been here for so long, that they have a very, very understanding player base, and a very good, strong one. But it also needs to be expanded, some advertisement, something, because the game needs to expand. It needs to.
Well, I think we can agree that we all love the game. We want it to expand. So yes, definitely. I hope to see that happen as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
Well, thank you so much for your time here. And again, this is Lady Omega, and she is on the official Discord as well. So feel free to jump in and say hi to her. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it was great. I really enjoyed having you here. So that's it. Thank you, everybody. Take care. We'll see you in the next video. Bye now.
Bye.